Live from KSAT 12, the Night Beat starts right now.
He is wanted in connection with the serious injury of a police officer. The search is on for 20-year-old Joshua Powell tonight. Corpus Christi police began the search earlier today. Now a blue alert has been issued since it's unclear where Powell may be right now.
Now, police are also searching for a green 1999 Buick Regal with Texas license plate CSC 1880. Anyone with any information is asked to call police.
Young children hospitalized with COVID. It's our top story tonight as we hear about more young children in our hospitals. The county judge revealing today that University Hospital admitted an 11-month-old COVID patient.
And a 4-year-old is on a ventilator at the Children's Hospital. The 19's John Paul Barajas spoke with the chief medical officer of Christus Health. He explains what parents need to know about how this new variant is impacting children more than the previous variants.
COVID case counts are soaring, and this time kids aren't being spared.
It's alarming. It's just scary. At first, I didn't want to get the COVID either. I was dead set against getting that vaccine. And I said, you know what? You got to weigh out the risk. At least protect yourself and protect others. It's not just you, that they're concerned with, it's everybody else.
Lena Smith is the mother of a 1-year-old. She says when her son is eligible, she'll get him vaccinated. Until that's possible, Dr. Charles Hankins, chief medical officer of Christus Health, explains the best way to protect kids under 12 is to get those who can vaccinated.
We have just as many patients admitted between the ages of 20 and 40 as we do over 60.
Currently, San Antonio has 63% of eligible people fully vaccinated. Dr. Hankins wants that number to go up to keep children hospitalizations down. He adds in previous surges, at most 2 to 3% of child hospitalizations were COVID-related, and those were usually teens with pre-existing conditions. Now it's at 10%, with half of them in the ICU and the patients' ages even younger.
We had a few newborns that were impacted from the maternal disease that was transferred to them. But our youngest admitted that's on a ventilator in the ICU is 4 years of age.
He explains at this time they aren't exactly sure what the long-term effects for these babies and toddlers might look like. And unlike in previous cases, Delta is hospitalizing kids who don't have underlying health conditions.
Seems to be attacking these children differently. So more aggressive. So not only spreads more easily, but for the population of children, it also seems to be more aggressive.
And with the school year just days away for some, Dr. Hankins fears that child hospitalizations will rise, but he doesn't think kids should stop going to in-person classes. He thinks that they should do that, but they should do that masked up and socially distanced. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, John Paul. Now, concerns are rising in San Antonio. Take a look at this rapid testing site near Fredericksburg Road and Loop 410, bumper to bumper. Cars lining up to try and find out if they have the COVID virus. The people inside those cars are. One woman says she wanted to get tested to make sure her allergies weren't COVID instead.
Been sick and a little under the weather for the past week and a half, so I just wanted to make sure before I head back to the office from working from home.
A reminder, those who are vaccinated can still spread the virus. Health professionals still recommend wearing a mask to avoid unknowingly spreading COVID-19. The vaccine can help you avoid the hospital and serious illness. Dr. Larry Schlesinger is the president and CEO of the Texas Biomedical Research Institute here in San Antonio. They worked with other scientists to come up with a vaccine. He says scientists have been studying mRNA technology for years and have also developed research on the series of coronaviruses. This is what gave scientists an edge when developing the vaccines we use today.
I want to state this vaccine was not rushed out the door. This vaccine represents the extraordinary efforts of scientists working together with healthcare professionals around the world to respond to a crisis and urgency with SARS-CoV-2.
Dr. Schlesinger joined us for our KSAT Q&A at 6 o'clock tonight. You can catch the rest of our conversation with him online if you'd like at ksat.com. A reminder, the state has a mobile vaccine program. All you need is a group of 5 or more to request that team come to you. That group can be made up of co-workers at a business, members of the same family, or a gathering of friends. Doesn't matter. If you would like to request a visit, call the Texas Mobile Vaccine Call Center. That number on your screen, it is 844-90-TEXAS.
He spent over 100 days on life support battling severe complications from COVID-19. Now, that man is home and sharing his story with us tonight. He tells me that he would have gotten the vaccine had it been available to him prior to getting sick.
Thursday, July 29th, 2021 will forever be a special day to Carlos Gonzalez. It's the day the 34-year-old was discharged from Methodist Hospital after spending over 120 days battling COVID-19 on ECMO. ECMO is normally a last resort life support option for critically ill patients. 120 days is also one of the longest periods a patient has been hooked up to a mechanical pump to oxygenate blood.
It is hard to be in the hospital, especially all the medical staff, what they're going through in there.
Gonzalez said he and his family contracted the virus in February when the vaccine wasn't available to his specific group. But unlike his wife and daughter, he had no symptoms. In fact, he acted as their caretaker until
I got out of breath, and then I rushed out to the hospital, got admitted.
Gonzalez says he stayed on medications, suffered from pain, and was always out of breath.
I got the trach on my throat. I couldn't speak. I couldn't communicate with nobody.
But thanks to the support of his family and this woman you see here, he knew he had to fight. This is 35-year-old Amy Velez, and she too battled COVID and was placed on ECMO life support for over 100 days. She and Carlos were in the same ICU for months, and when she got better, she made sure Gonzalez knew if she could do it, he could too.
I spoke to him and I said, you can do this. God's got your back.
It's just, I never give up.
Gonzalez learned to walk and talk again, and he never lost faith.
Pray one day I'll be home.
And now that is exactly where he is, home, continuing his recovery, COVID-free.
I'm a miracle to be alive.
Now, Gonzalez says it may be a couple of months before he is back at 100%. He still requires 100% oxygen 24/7. He says his family has all been vaccinated, and he wants his story to inspire others to get the vaccine as well. Our coronavirus coverage continues online at KSAT.com. The surge now impacting courts once again. Judge Ron Ronhell now suspending jury service because of the rise in cases. The Otis McCain trial will continue to move forward with the jury until a verdict is reached. We have the full order online at KSAT.com.
Another developing story tonight, the surge of migrants seems to be increasing. The border city of McAllen sits south of San Antonio. They are opening up a temporary emergency shelter for migrants. This after the respite center set up by Catholic Charities there continues to reach capacity and beyond. An average of 750 people arrived each day to that center at the beginning of July. Towards the end of the month, the city of McAllen says that number increased to 1,100 people. And now the center has seen 1,900 people per day in August. Capacity at the shelter, only a little more than 1,200. The temporary shelter is meant to help relieve some of the strain. The city of McAllen says COVID-19 is complicating matters as well. Catholic Charities, RGV, partnered with another group to get migrants tested for the illness once those migrants are no longer in federal custody. Those who test positive are sent to quarantine sites in the Rio Grande Valley. Those who test negative are allowed to travel to their host families as they await their court cases for asylum.
And more asylum seekers are having to travel through San Antonio to get to their host families. The San Antonio Food Bank says that the need for volunteers is also increasing. Spanish speakers are especially needed during this humanitarian effort. Volunteers would be dispatched to where help is needed, including distributing meals and blankets to the migrants. The City of San Antonio Department of Human Services is coordinating with the food bank. They need volunteers to fill shifts daily, including 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now, if you would like to volunteer, we have a link to sign up on KSAT.com.
A bike-riding gunman getting away, leaving his victims behind. Police say the suspect pulled up to a home demanding money from 2 men that were just sitting on a front porch. It happened on Parchman near South Flores and Southeast Military. Officers say when those men refused to give the gunman any money, he shot them. Both of the men taken to the hospital in critical condition. The search for that suspect continuing at this hour. Emotions running high as relatives of both slain SAPD Detective Benjamin Marconi and convicted killer Otis McCain took the witness stand today during the punishment phase of the trial. As McCain's mother took the stand, we blurred her face at the request of the court. She pleaded with the court to not give her son the death penalty. However, on the other side, those who knew Detective Marconi mostly spoke about how his death affected them.
But losing a parent on a public scale and in a very tragic and shocking way, it takes a toll on your mental and emotional health.
I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, that this was my brother who had just been murdered.
The trial continues tomorrow with the possibility of more witnesses from the defense. However, jury deliberations could also be close. You can watch the trial live stream tomorrow on KSAT.com. Court is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. New developments expected for Pfizer and its COVID-19 vaccine. Still ahead on the Night Beat, when it's expected to achieve full approval and what that designation could mean in the fight against coronavirus.
And a local school district says that they were forced to pay more than $500,000 to hackers. One security expert argues that that may not have been the best idea.
Plus, new video just into our newsroom. This crash leaving a passenger van